Hello, this is Elizabeth Reeds. Who wants to read chapter 21 of Jemima Small with me? Let's read it together. This chapter is called The Lighthouse. That weekend, Miki was staying at his dad's in London, so on Sunday I put the notebook from Gina and my Brainiacs pen in my coat pocket, started my phone timer, and headed towards the sea. I stepped out onto the promenade and walked uphill toward the lighthouse. I went past the brightly colored beach huts, the harbor where the steamboat pulled in to pick up tourists, a little row of shops, and then up the concrete steps that were always covered in pebbles. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and pressed stop on the timer. 38 minutes. I wiped the seat of the bench behind me and sat down. If I took the same time walking back, I'd have done 153% more walking than Gina told us to do. Dad couldn't say I wasn't making an effort now. I was probably her best student. It wasn't like I didn't already have loads of homework. I was doing an extension project on light refraction and dispersion for Mr. Shaw, and Mrs. Lee had given me some A-level algebra questions to try as well as the regular ones. Gina's homework was only writing thoughts and things down, and she'd given us a whole week. It should have been easy. But it felt harder than everything else. I stared down at the empty page, feeling like anything I wrote would sound stupid. I pulled out my phone and messaged Heidi. Hey, started your notebook yet for GGB? Heidi replied, yeah, started it when I got home on Friday. A few minutes later, my phone beeped and a photo popped up. It was Heidi's list, although it looked more like an essay. As I started reading, this horrible feeling spread from my stomach to my heart. 1. A year 9 boy said, shut up, fatty, to me on the bus, and I wasn't even talking to him. 2. Harry's friend said, whoa, don't squash me, when the bus went round a corner. I don't know if it counts because he said it to Harry, but it still made me feel bad. His friends always say stuff to him, and it feels like they mean it about me too, even though Harry says they don't. 3. It was my cousin's birthday party last weekend, and when it was time for the cake, my uncle looked at my mom as though he didn't think I should have any. It was really awkward, so I said I wasn't hungry. I felt left out and embarrassed and wished I could go home. 4. As we were leaving, my uncle said, next time we see you two, I hope we don't recognize you. That just made me want to cry. 5. My gran texted saying she was proud of me for not having cake at the party and she'll give me £1 for every pound of weight I lose. My mom said she was just trying to encourage me, but I feel like she thinks there's something badly wrong with me and that she's not proud of me the way I am. I blinked a few times and the breeze blew one of my tears across my face. Words out loud are just sound vibrations that travel through the air, bits of energy that eventually run out, like someone shouting, earthquake, at you across a car park. Words written down are permanent. You can't just act like you didn't hear or pretend they don't exist. And the worst thing about reading Heidi's list was, I knew exactly how much it hurt. I wiped another tear from my eye and put my pen to the paper. It wasn't difficult knowing what to write. It was knowing where to start. When I got home, I could hear hammering coming from the garage, so Dad must have been in there. I went straight upstairs to my room, pulled my cardigan off, and closed the door. I don't know how long I stayed like that, sitting against the door with my cardigan at my feet, but I think it was a long time. I heard Jasper practicing his magic show about 100 times. Writing that list up by the lighthouse was a stupid idea. I'd walk all the way home with my head down so no one would see the tears that kept falling down my cheeks. I heard Dad come in and Jasper running downstairs. I dried my eyes on my sleeve and looked at my phone. A message from Heidi was on the screen. Hey, my cousin just sent me this. It's a J.K. Rowling quote. Is fat really the worst thing a human being can be? Is fat worse than vindictive, jealous, shallow, vain, boring, or cruel? They were only words on a screen, but they felt like magic. Maybe because J.K. Rowling said them, or because Jasper's magic show music was still playing in the background. Or maybe it was having a friend like Heidi who understood what the stuff in my notebook felt like. Luna had told me ages ago about this feeling she gets sometimes when she's telling someone's fortune. She says it makes her soul smile. Well, I still hadn't exactly located my soul, but wherever it was, I could feel it smiling. My phone flashed Heidi's name again, and there was the Brainiacs lightning bolt logo. Fingers crossed for you tomorrow. My eyes went kind of blurry again as I looked down at my legs squashed against the carpet. I thought about school tomorrow. Mrs. Savage would be announcing who'd made it through to the selection day in assembly. What would happen if she did call my name? I'd have to stand up at the front. People would gawp at me, or maybe laugh. They'd probably wonder how somebody like me could be clever enough for brainiacs, or why I'd even put myself forward. But still, there was a tiny part of me, maybe only one of the 37.2 trillion cells in my body, hoping she would call my name. And that if she did, maybe I wouldn't feel like the worst thing a human being could be. That's the end of this chapter. I'll see you next time.